Alright guys, this is a lecture for Module 6. In this module, we're going to be talking about supply. So I hope you're really excited for this because it's going to be a good one. Alright, now when we were discussing demand, it was a lot easier to kind of comprehend because we're used to buying stuff. Right? So with supply, we have to get in the mind of people who are selling things. Alright, so in this module, we're going to draw a supply curve and interpret its meaning. We're also going to discuss the difference between movements and changes in supply or a shift in supply. And we're going to list the factors that will shift the supply curve. Alright, now a supply schedule, much like a demand schedule, shows how much of a good or service would be supplied at different prices. So I want you to go ahead and write this, let me get the pen ready, supply schedule right here in your notes. Alright, right there. And as you can see, as the price goes up, it's different than with demand. As price goes up, quantity supplied is going to increase as well. And we're going to write that down here in a minute for you guys. Alright. Now, this is what the supply curve will look like. As you can see, it is upward sloping. When we drew our demand curve, remember the demand curve was downward sloping. So if we had price here, quantity there, alright, our demand curve looked like that. Alright, now the reason why is because with demand, as price decreased, quantity demanded increased. With supply, however, like I said earlier, as price goes up, quantity supplied is going to increase. That's the big difference here, and that's why thinking about it from the perspective of a seller will give you, will help you to understand that. Because if you are selling a product, in this case cotton, could be anything, right? If you can charge more for your product and make more money, you're going to supply more of it. Alright, that's just common business sense. You're going to work your hardest to try and figure out a way to get more of your product to market so that way you can make more profit and have more money for yourself. Now, that brings us directly into the law of supply, so I want you to write that there. The law of supply says that other things being equal, the price and quantity supplied of a good are positively related. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the law of demand for you, even though you've already written it in your definition, or in your notes. I'm sorry, this is the definition. It's hard to talk and write at the same time. Alright, law of demand states that other things equal, the price and quantity demanded of a good are negatively related. Basically that means as price goes up, quantity demanded will go down. With supply, however, as price goes up, quantity supplied will go up. Alright, so that's kind of the big difference here. And if you understand that, that'll really help you out when it comes time to for the test and understanding supply and demand. Now, an increase in supply, the adoption of improved cotton growing technology generated an increase in supply, which is a rise in quantity supplied at any given price. So this was the example that they gave you here in the textbook. As we can see here, before the technology, alright, this is before and after. Alright, it says that right up here as well. I know. But as you can see, with the new technology, you're able to produce more for any given price. Alright. The event is represented by the two supply schedules, one showing supply before the new technology. You don't have to worry about writing that down, that's just there to help you understand it. Alright. Alright, and that increase in supply can be shown by the rightward shift in the supply curve here. Just like with demand, a movement along the curve, alright, is where is going to be caused by a change in price. Alright, and we'll write that down when we get back to class the next time. Alright, there's an increase in supply, means it's going to be a shift to the right, decrease in supply, shift to the left. Alright, now, these are the reasons why your supply curve will shift. The first is going to be a change in input prices. Now, an input is a good that is used to produce another good. So if you own a bakery and you specialize in making specialty cupcakes, for example, sorry to use another food product, we're just going to go with it. Your inputs are going to be things like eggs, flour, sugar, butter, right? Anything that you can use to then convert into a cake is what's going to be your input. All right. If the price of those goods go up, that's going to negatively impact the amount of cupcakes you can supply, because now it's more expensive for you to bake your cupcakes. Another thing that will impact the supply curve is going to be the change in the price of related goods and services. Change in technology. All right, so technology is going to have a huge impact. I think we all kind of understand what technology is, so don't necessarily feel like you have to write that down. But basically, if technology increases, that's going to make it easier for businesses to make a product. So let's go back to our bakery that we had here. Let's say that you, as the baker, had bought an automated cupcake baking machine where all you did was add the ingredients and it baked all the cupcakes for you. Well, now you don't have to spend as much time mixing all the ingredients together, measuring everything out, putting it into little cupcake tins, and baking in the oven and all that stuff. Now you just pour the batter in and everything takes care of itself. All right, you're obviously going to be able to make way more cupcakes than you could before. Lastly, change in expectations. So changes in the expected future price of a good can lead a supplier to supply less or more of that good today. So in the future, if you think the prices are going to go up, you're probably going to wait on supplying your product until those prices go up. If you think the prices are going to go down, however, in the future, you're probably going to try and sell as much of your stuff as you can today. All right, so again, getting in the mind of people who are selling goods and services is what's going to help you to understand supply. Lastly, changes in the number of producers. Obviously, if there's more people making the same thing, let's say you have your cupcake shop in Wiley and you're the only cupcake business in town, well, Wiley's going to be pretty dependent upon how many cupcakes you make. But now let's say that your friend decides to copy you, like all good friends do, and they're going to open up their own cupcakery. All right. Well, now you got some competition, A, but also the city of Wiley has way more cupcakes supplied to it. All right, because now they have 2 people making cupcakes. And let's say someone else copies you guys, and now you've got 3 cupcakeries. Okay, so now you see how the number of producers can really impact the supply of a good or service. All right. Now, you don't really need to know this, but the supply curve, just like with the demand curve, is the average of all supply curves for all firms that are supplying a good or a service. All right, and that just shows you factors that increase or decrease supply. So you can see it shifting in real life. Let's see. This is something that kind of tied into the real world here. So according to a 2007 article in the New York Times, the U.S. has experienced a severe decline in the number of farm veterinarians over the past 2 decades. The source of the problem is the higher demand for pet vets. Farm veterinary services and pet veterinary services are substitutes in production. So basically, because there's more people with pets and less people with farms, those vets are making the transition to service those people that have pets in the house, right? So you're seeing more vets going into business to take care of your dog rather than, say, to take care of your horse or your cow on the farm. All right, so that just kind of summarizes what we learned. If you have any questions, send me an email, post it in Google Classroom. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to be checking these, the notes, so please watch. It just really helps you out. So thank you guys once again, and I will see you all when you get back to class.